The nightshade family is a category of plants which also include many that you wouldn't want to eat, like mandrake, belladonna, and even tobacco. So it's no wonder that people once considered tomatoes and potatoes to be inedible too, even poisonous. And in fact, the leaves of the potato plants are quite toxic. So it took both plants quite a while to catch on in Europe. And even longer before it made a return trip to North America and became popular food items here. American became popular food items here. Yes, yeah, I remember my grandmother telling me that when her mother was a little girl, a lot of people still thought tomatoes are poisonous. Oh, sure, people didn't really start eating them here until the mid 1800s. But seems like I heard didn't Thomas Jefferson grow them or something? Well, that's true. But then Jefferson is known not only as the third president of the United States, but also as a scholar who was way ahead of his time in many ways. He didn't let the conventional thinking over his day restrain his idea. Now, potatoes went through a similar sort of a rejection process, especially when they were first introduced in Europe. You know how potatoes can turn green if they are left in the light too long, and that green of skin can make the potatoes taste bitter, even make you ill. So that was enough to put people off for over 200 years. Yes, Bill. I'm sorry, Professor Jones, but I mean, yeah, okay. American crafts have probably contributed a lot to European cooking over the years, but have they really played any kind of important role in European history? Well, as a matter of fact, yes. I was just coming to that. Let's start with the North American corn or maize, as it's often called. Now, before the Europeans made any contract with the Americans, they subsisted mainly on grains that often suffered from crop failures, and largely from this reason, the political power in Europe was centered for centuries in the south around the Mediterranean Sea, which was where they could grow these grains with more reliability. With more reliability, berry. But when corn came to Europe from Mexico, wow, now they had a much healthier crop that could be grown easily in more northern climate, northerly climates, and the centers of power began to shift accordingly. And then, well, as I said, potatoes weren't really popular at first, but when they finally catch on, which they did in Ireland around 1780. Well, why do you suppose it happened? Because potatoes have the ability to provide abundant and extremely nutritious food crop. No other crop grew in North Europe at the time had anything like the number of vitamins contained in potatoes. Plus, potatoes grow on the single acre of land could feed many more people than, say, wheat grow on the same land. Potatoes soon spread to France and other northern European countries, and as a result, the nutrition of the general population improved tremendously and population soared in the early 1800s. 1800, and so the shift of power from southern to northern Europe continued. もういい